Ignite, from dreams to reality.
One thing I've learned about life is especially in our country, Nigeria, after graduating, it's difficult most times to get jobs. It's like the jobs are there, but most people don't have what it takes to get employed. And at the same time, you have what it takes to get employed. You don't like the job being offered. So it's either you get a job or you create one. So I decided to create one.
It's actually tough. Tough in the sense that job hunting is no longer being easy. If you go for any interview, you discover that people are up to 1,000 there, and they need to be able to get a job. So at times you have to stop, sit down, use your brain. What can I do to make life enjoyable? And at the same time, putting some bucks into my pocket. For me, it's fun.
Ignite, from dreams to reality.
I have seen many big companies which never had a proper beginning. They had all this, they never had proper accounting techniques, procedure, processes in place. And it brought them down. As minute as it may be, like somebody said, droplets of water makes a mighty ocean. It's better you tackle it now and know the health of your business to know whether you are making profit or you are making a loss. Because you can actually eat up your capital without knowing it. As insignificant as accountants may be in the background, doing their work, always on the system working, telling you to fill this record, fill that record, those things are very significant. Every entrepreneur that made it in this world never made it without proper accounting information.
Thank you very much, Shola.
Yes, ma'am.
And look, we've kept it very simple. He's said it in terms that you can readily relate to, and it doesn't have to be complex. In fact, you don't need to print P&L book, bin card, this one. You don't need to print. You can buy the big hard notebook and decide that the last 10 pages in it represent your bin card.
Exactly.
All you need to do is
You rule.
you rule in the middle, you do the line at the top.
Receive, issue.
That's it. Received, issue. Received side, goods that are delivered to you. Or when you travel and buy your stock that you want to sell, don't just start selling. Because you think you will remember everything, but you can forget. All the different documents can be simple. Profit and loss. All the accounts, all your entire books can be one big hard notebook. Just different segments of it assigned for all the books he has taught you. The only thing you might ever need separate is the invoice and the delivery notes. Do you understand what I'm saying? So don't wait to be sophisticated to have the books. As a business person, you're not going anywhere if you don't take the time. Because even if you hire smart accountants like Shola, you need to understand what they're telling you, otherwise they will deceive you. That's the truth. They will lie to you, but if you have a basic understanding of what is right, when you, as the owner of the business, and you're saying to them, I need to spend 2 million naira, they say, Madam, we don't have. You say, but we have 10 million in the account. They say, yes, but it's not available.
There's a cash flow.
There's a cash flow gap.
We have a projection.
See?
Of
They've
what
already...
we're going to spend it on.
Yes.
And they will show you the record for the next, let's say, for the next 6 months.
So you might look at money, but it's all the money you see. Is it available to you? They also help to make sure that in calculating your obligations, you can plan for it. So when somebody does best of judgment tax for you, you have your books.
Record
It might not be
reconcile with
sophisticated,
them. Exactly.
but you will take it there and say, Oga, these are my records. This is what my gross profit is. These are my expenses. Deduct it. This is my net profit. Where can you find the figure you're talking about as my profit, as my tax? Not possible. What is the percentage charge? Charge it on. This is my true tax. Once you have your figures, you've disarmed them.
My question goes like this. For those into manufacturing and the process industries, how would you reconcile your stock as regards, because when you have your raw material, they come in, they go into the factory, production takes place, and then they come out in another form. So would you have two different records for your raw materials and then for your finished product?
So I think quite understand when you were explaining landed cost, gross profit, and net profit. I got
Okay.
lost in calculation.
I'll throw more light on that. Let me take that for now. Let me just take these two questions. When I was talking about if you have a manufacturing company, now there's a process in manufacturing company. Now, you want to manufacture, say, a chair. Now, the component of making like a chair, the way it is, you have the hydraulic, you have the arm, you have the fabric, you have everything together. With the way accountants work, you have two bankers, one for components, one for finished goods. Now, you can now say, okay, I use 100 items to make a chair. Now, by the time you are receiving it into your bin card, you now say one chair received in. Now, if you want to know the component that makes up that chair, it will, if you want to reverse that situation, you now break it down into like 100 items. Basically, that answers it. Now, it's work in progress. You can call it work in progress or production level, then finished goods. Then you can track all your components from the component level to how it became finished goods. So if anybody is pilfering your stock, you would know. Then for the area of net profit, gross profit, pardon me, landed costs. Okay, the landed costs, okay, the way I'll take the landed cost is, okay, let's assume you want to produce a chair. I'll use a chair because this is visible. Now, you want to this, and you have your supplier overseas. Now, you place an order to them. I said, I want to buy, let's say, a finished good like this. Now, you buy this finished good for 100 naira. Now, they will charge you in dollars or in pounds. Now, in finished goods. Now, the cost they will give to you is 100 naira. Now, always ensure that when you go to buy, you collect an invoice from that person. Write me an invoice. Because that is your record. It's 100 naira. Now, you enter the bus or you took a cab. Let's assume the cab charged you 1,000 naira. Or it charged you, let's say, it charged you like 10 naira. Let me use some small figures. It charged you 10 naira. For you going and coming back, it's about 10 naira. Now, you have 100 naira of buying the chair plus 10 naira. That's 110. Now, you made phone calls. You did that. Some other costs that you can account for. Here and there. Everything 40 naira. By the time you add everything together, it becomes 150. Now, when you buy, the cost of that product, all those costs is 50 naira. Now, the cost of the item is, say, 100 naira. 100 plus 50 is 150. That's for one item. Now, let's assume you now bought 10 items. Do you understand me? 10 items, 100 naira, that is 1,000. 1,000 plus 50 is 1,050. When you had it divided by 10. Do you understand me? All the costs you incurred, you made phone calls, you boarded a taxi, all the costs. When you had everything together, although those ones don't have receipts, but it will come from your petty cash. Do you understand me? Which you have written out on your notebook. I took money from my business to go and buy something at Okeari. I made phone calls from my business. For the essence of my business, I did everything. Had it together on a single sheet and said, okay, these are the costs I incurred in going to Okeari and back to buy 10 chairs. A unit of chair is 100 naira. Now, 10 chairs is 1,000. Now, that 1,000 normally if I just an ordinary trader, you just say 1,000. Okay, I bought it for 1,000. 1,000 divided by 10 is 100 naira. Okay, I bought the chair for 100 naira. Okay, I will sell it for 120. At the end of the day, he didn't consider the transport. He didn't consider the phone call. He didn't consider every other cost that you can't readily see. Salary that you pay yourself at the end of the month. As a matter of fact, every entrepreneur, you might need to fix yourself in a salary and discipline yourself in that regard. Now, you are not adding the cost of salary to it, but those ones are treated as overhead at the end of the month. But there are other costs that are invisible that you don't see. NEPA bills, you can't add NEPA bills to the cost of buying those products. But that's what we have what we call direct costs and indirect costs. Now, those direct costs are the costs that you incur directly in getting these goods from Okeari to your shop. Indirect costs are the cost of the shops, the salaries, that you cannot attribute directly to the chair. Whether those are fixed costs, whether you go and buy this at Okeari or not, you still pay salary. Whether you do this or not, you will still pay your shop rent. Those are other, that's what we call overhead, indirect costs. So those direct costs, the transport, the phone cost that is directly attributable to bringing this item to your store, those are costs. You add to the 1,000. Rather than dividing 1,000 by 10, it will now be 1,000 plus 50. Other costs, direct costs, is now 1,050 divided by 10. You will see that it will be higher than 100 naira. That's how you know your real costs. Then you can now do a margin on that.
Ignite, from dreams to reality.